Salvete. Omnes. How's everyone doing? Oh, hold on. Right. I have it just chatting screen, of course. I don't know, for like by now I already have the just chatting screen for longer than I don't have it, and I still keep forgetting it exists. Oh well, it's fine. Yeah, how is everyone doing? I'm doing great. Wait, hold on. I'm a little bit annoyed that Genshin freaking... I teleported to a zone with music, so you could have music during the waiting screen while I finished setting up some stuff, and then I instantly heard like the music go quiet the moment I went live, which Genshin does sometimes, but oh well, it's fine. Doing good, did enough work yesterday that I can afford to do nothing today. Oh, nice! Oh, it's always great to have a day where you just don't do anything. Yeah, well, I hope you'll be able to rest properly today then. Yeah, today we'll be playing some Genshin. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, bye, Nikumi. Okay, here's my little shark friend, okay. Okay, we don't need this little pet. Let's use the ocean. Why not? Guess it fits for the region. But yes, we will be playing. Not that quest. This one. Yeah, no, this is Act 2, not Act 1. I already played through Act 1 and the beginning of Act 2 by myself. Okay.
The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
So yeah, we're at the point where we go with Navia to the Chief Justice's office. Where we go and visit Novelet. But yeah, during Act 1 we just saved Linny and Lynette from from being guillotined by the French. Yes. Also, we got to meet the Hydro Archon, even though we didn't really get to talk to her. We didn't get to ask her about our sibling. So that means we're gonna have to like save the whole country from destruction. So we get to ask her.
Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
Huh. This place does look pretty heavily guarded. Guess that proves that Nervalet's files are really secure.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
No, right, we're investigating like the disappearing ladies that get melted into water or something like that. Right?
Just to be clear,
Probably.
I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yeah.
Yep. Paimon can tell.
If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the
It's
trial of the
actually
great
really
magician
interesting how
Lenny.
Fontaine is like a mix of
Yes,
British
I
and
remember.
French.
I read about it in the Steambird. You must
He's like,
be Linny's attorney.
This is clearly
It's
supposed to
all
be
coming back
British.
to me now.
Like the accent is
We're
kind of
here
British,
today to
and the
report and archive
hat,
some information on a follow-up
like it's just a British police officer.
Is that even a thing?
It's interesting. It's fun.
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Yeah, see,
Thanks so much.
it is kind of like a soft British accent. Oh, I see something shiny. Okay, well, there's an achievement. Well, okay, that one was very easy. Actually, how many am I at already? Oh, 939. Okay. I'm actually pretty close to 1,000.
Please come in.
Oh, I still remember getting excited when I reached like 600 or 700 or something like that. Actually, I think it's been a really long time since I've met anyone with more achievements than me.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We
Maybe now with
like,
Fontaine,
because
people will
we
catch
didn't
up.
know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
Also, this guy is really cool.
So you're not
Like,
mad at us?
We're looking for a man called
I'm
Vache.
actually split
He may
between
have
wishing
been
for
an
him
eyewitness
or
in
for
the serial
Furina.
disappearances case.
Then I really want all
Find
the
him.
Archons.
We may be able to unearth some key information
Oh,
on
that's,
the case.
that's how cool he is.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
He just reminds me so much of like a Hydro Zhongli, except as a DPS, if anyone has seen the ability
Who knew
leaks.
that Neuvillette would be
I don't
so
know if his
easy to
abilities have been
talk
officially
to?
announced yet or not, but from the leaks, he is unique. Let's just say that, and in a good way, not in a bad way. Not unique in a bad way. Just like
Unfortunately,
Xinyan is the only like pyro
I'm
shield.
quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Okay, so Vache is the voice that we heard from the fountain, right? Like the fountain where there was the spirit of one of the ladies that got melted into water, right? Yeah, that was it. So we're back to square
Traveler?
one.
What if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem.
He doesn't even just wish us goodbye, he just goes, yeah, I
Miss
should have
Navia,
left earlier.
I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should.
Just like a true French person. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't
It's
bully
just
French
like
people like
last
this.
time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by
Oh, hi,
all?
thanks for checking in. I'm still a
Everything
piece of
was hanging on a
garbage.
thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things
Okay,
I never
I'm
got
not
to
sure if
tell
this
him.
is a spoiler
So
or
many
not,
questions. He still owes me
because
answers.
I've only
to.
heard it from the leaks.
If
But
you really
he isn't
have
supposed
no
to be
heart,
human. He isn't
then
human.
just look me in the eyes.
So I guess that makes sense for why
Navia,
he is.
We'll show you the
Why
true
he
meaning
doesn't act like a
of
human.
regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice. My apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Oh man, what a start to the stream, huh? Maybe I should have started it before the emotional the emotional high point, but I didn't know this was coming. Oh well, it's a good start. It's to keep people hooked.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
Give me a fun fact about the Roman military to get over that emotional thing.
What is it?
How about the
Did you
fact that
think of
a
something?
centurion, like, as when you hear the name centurion, you expect him to lead 100 soldiers, right? That is not the case. He only led 80 soldiers. He was in charge of 100 people, but only 80 of them were soldiers because there were what's the name?
He was outside. It was
Okay, I
uncovered
forget
and
the
the
name
rain
of
could
like
fall
the
here.
most basic,
Why?
like the smallest
Do you think the
division
rain
of
could have
people
affected the
in
crime
Roman
scene?
military. But it is
That thought has
10
occurred to us
people.
before. We've even
8
expanded the search
soldiers.
area to try to account for that.
One of
but
which
didn't find
is in
anything of
charge
value.
of. No, I'm not talking about like cooks and logistics and stuff like that. I mean, I can am. But yeah, like, so there were groups of 10 people. 8 of them were soldiers, and 2 of them were slaves or like servants to carry the stuff for those other 8 soldiers, cook for them, set up the tents, stuff like that. And so the one of them would be in charge. Would be like the, I forget the name again. I forget the names of these 10 man groups. But then the 100 group, which would be 10 of these, would be led by a centurion who would be in charge of everyone, including the two servants, which would be 20 servants to help 80 soldiers. So yeah, that's it. The centurion doesn't actually lead 100 soldiers. He leads 100 people, 20 of which are not soldiers.
Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
So you're saying that
But
the
yes.
true murderer could have been turned into water and then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier?
Also, there's the
All
theory that
Let's go to
it only
Poisson.
rains
With
when
this new
Novelette
lead in
is
mind, we'll get to the
sad,
bottom
right?
of my father's case for sure.
Because
Yeah,
okay,
we're
no,
gonna
wait,
make
that
progress for
actually
sure this time.
it was spoiler
Do you want to
again.
go with me now?
But whatever.
Or do you
I
want
will
to head
explain
over
it.
by yourself later?
Let's just say that the weather is connected to Novelette's emotions. That's it.
Great. Let's go then.
Okay, let's go. I didn't pay attention because it's trying to remember the hell they were called, like the 10-man soldier units. Okay, I just can't
Violet
remember.
grass is a plant that enjoys
But yeah,
a
it's
moist
like
environment
10 people,
and is
they
best
share
picked
tents,
after it
8 of
rains.
which are
If you
soldiers,
should choose to
something
pick
like that.
any, be sure to store them appropriately.
Okay. There's a Hydroculus around here. Oh, it's below, I think, right? I think I've been here before. Or maybe not. No, this is to go back up. Right. That thing shoots me up. Okay. I'll figure out where the Hydroculus is later, some other time.
Whoa! What a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters.
Huh.
My
Oh,
father
actually,
was the
yeah, it
one
kind of
who
makes
asked for it to
sense.
be
She
built
has like
this.
a ship
Perhaps our
wheel
taste in exterior
ornament
design
on
is the
her
only thing we
waist,
occasionally
right?
had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship
Yeah, see.
embodies discovery, opportunity,
Kind of looks like
ambition,
a
and conquest.
ship steering wheel.
It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
I still love the fact that their main base is literally just called fish. It's literally just fish. Okay, wait. How is that? Oh, it's from the event. Right. I already played the event. Also, so there are 2... Wait. So it's... Okay. Fuck it. I'll leave like a marker and then look for it later. Here. Hydroculus. I think that's how you spell it. There. Now I know where to look. Okay, so I need to climb up. Oh no, there's a ramp. Okay, of course there's a ramp. Okay, another hydroculus. Is it? I had to bet it would be like behind this or above. Hold on. Oh, can't see anything. Okay. Yep. And there's another one, except it's like here. Okay. Yeah, let's just write all of those down. Okay. Okay.
Maloose, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partners. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that.
Oh, every time I
It's
hear
because my
them
partner
calling
here
the
reminded
place
me of
just
something really
Poisson,
important.
I just
See,
giggle.
what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Maloose? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Does this sound like absinthe? Or at least what people think of absinthe.
Also mentioned that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called
like
for a
every
complete
time.
ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father
sounds
decided to
exactly
contact
like
the
a drug
dealers in
dealer.
secret and cultivate personal relationships
like an
with them.
IRL drug dealer. What the hell?
He was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse.
Okay, yeah, this is just drug use.
That night,
This is just
my
a
father
thinly
hosted a
veiled
banquet at
allegory.
his countryside
What the
estate.
hell?
He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Huh.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth.
Okay, so now
On
we're
that
gonna
note,
go
however,
find out
even though this
who
will
this
not please
killer
you,
is.
demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel.
Okay,
They are
okay,
extremely
interesting.
difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of
Why do I
peace,
giggle every
and we
time?
have been allowed to live out our lives.
What a dumb thing
There
to
is no need to
find
follow your
funny.
father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that, ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial
Wait, so he's been hiding
disappearances case.
information the whole time.
But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, have been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he
Yeah, of course.
had been diagnosed with a rare
Oh,
illness.
wait. Okay, I actually
The
saw
doctors
this one
told
coming
him that he
a mile
had
away. A mile away.
No more than 5 years left to live. And the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina de Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick
So
to me.
it was all just a
No
gigabrain
father
play
wants
from
their
him.
daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted,
Also, is it just me,
I could
or
have
is
just lived out
like
my life without a care in the
Navia's,
world.
uh,
But thankfully,
like
he rarely
silhouette
talked to me about complex
designed to
matters,
look kind of like she has
and thus
cat
understood
ears?
little of me as a person.
Is it just me?
In this case,
Can anyone else see
he
it?
really didn't need to give me an easy way out.
Like when she
Melissa,
looks straight ahead.
what was the
from
key evidence that he shared with
look,
you?
like the
It's
ornaments
the
on
location
the hat
where synth is
kind of make it look
produced.
like she does have cat ears.
Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found.
Maybe it is just
But
me.
if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is,
It
can't we just go
probably is just
storming
me.
in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades.
So it's the
There's no
mafia.
telling what might be lying in
Okay,
wait at their
wait.
headquarters.
Look.
We also have no idea what kind of evidence
Like the
we may be able
flower
to find inside.
kind of makes up one ear,
nor
and then
what people we
this
may be
little
able
triangle
to capture.
thingy makes up another ear. Maybe. Okay, maybe not.
But
But
a
still, it kinda
single
looks like
visit to
that-
their
like that
headquarters
to
will
me.
be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you
There
saw
might
one
be
of them
rats.
dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no
Yeah,
idea just
there
how
might be-
thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
Yeah, exactly. See? Infiltration.
That's true. Seems my father really had no choice. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Maloose.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake.
Yeah, look,
But
still
considering
also
my
looks like he
relative
has
lack
his
of
shit. Oh,
ability,
and this
I've
kind of looks
spent
like an
my
anchor,
time keeping
actually.
secrets, performing
Wait, I never
basic
noticed that.
investigations and waiting for
Huh.
the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Maloose. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendors. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. A boss helped it to grow to its current size
Why
and
do I keep
prominence.
giggling at Poisson?
In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily
Honestly.
goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, they're like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The
Could be to
final
keep up
suspect is
appearances.
Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities.
Of course.
Since Thierry is always in the know
You can
about
just go
our
and be a
current
vigilante all
activities,
you want.
he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Okay, so I guess this will be another like trial minigame, like in the first act.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Yep. Okay, so it is another like case minigame.
Who would have imagined that people could really turn into water? Here we go again, trying to crack it.
Okay. Somehow I have a feeling that it'll be neither of those
It is
three.
settled then. Please excuse me and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us, Malus.
See, again, for some reason, these really look like big cat ears to me. I don't know why.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened, I didn't know how I was supposed to face the two of you.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula sent us a lot of mora and support. I understood your guilt and apology to be genuine.
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques?
Of course, but still. I mean, it's not like she
understand the
killed
kind of
him
pain
personally.
that comes with losing a father so needlessly.
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you, because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you, and to all of us.
Man, what a
I'm sorry.
what a frustrated
I
young
appreciate
child.
the sentiment, but you don't have to carry all that guilt. On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less found our answer already.
Would you mind sharing it with me? I really can't believe that my father could ever bring himself to shoot Jacques.
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would never go into the synth business again. He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally, For the longest time, he thought Mora was everything. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he accepted it almost immediately. He tried to be as careful as he could, but even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his betrayal?
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his final farewell to the two of us.
Huh.
I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually came to.
Or maybe they ordered him to be killed by
Which is
someone
why
else
I'm
to
the
frame
one
him?
who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken great care of us, both when he was still alive and
So maybe
after
he
he
was
passed away.
united. At
Even
least that's
if
what it
he
sounds
fired
like.
the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self-defense. It is impossible for me to hate him for what he had done.
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad guy if he did the right thing? Papa always wanted to be a good man, so why did he have to do a bad thing in the end?
Well, things aren't always as they seem. You still feel like your papa was a good man, right?
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole world.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, then he must have had his reasons. Regardless of whether he left you a parasol
Also, I
or
just
a sword,
noticed Navia has a geo
he must have done so
vision,
to
right?
give you a better life.
Oh,
Thank you for everything you've told me.
I think I just noticed
will
that.
definitely find the truth. The current state of things is not
It'd be
something
really nice
I'm
to have
willing
a
to just
geo
sit back and
infusion
accept.
guy.
Thank you.
Someone who can give
I'm
a geo
very
infusion to
grateful to
other
hear this from
characters. Like a Geo Shangyin.
Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that to me.
Okay. So there's the first thingy.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Florence should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.
Okay, so here's the second guy. So this is like
Greetings,
the
boss.
second in command
How may
kind of
I
thing.
be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House? Someone got turned into water right in front of us.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic, I'm sure journalists will milk it for all it's worth. And it'll be all the talk for the next several weeks.
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, it was raining outside, and we found some clothes left at the scene. After my partner here put the dots together for me, I feel like we should try to reopen his case. Can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. So he was drinking and bantering away with us at the table. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So we let him go without thinking much of it. Who knew that we would hear 2 gunshots ring out right after? My first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. So I grabbed my holster and made a mad dash toward the scene. But when I got there, it was already too late. Mr. Callis was standing over a dead body with a gun in his hands. All we could do was look back and forth at each other, not knowing what to say.
So you also remember 2 gunshots then?
Indeed. The guard said that the first shot didn't hit anyone, while the second killed Jacques. But I've never really bought that explanation. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. I even made sure to confirm that before running to the scene. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person.
Yeah,
About
sounds
the clothes
unlikely.
left at the scene that you mentioned.
Okay, so the
Do
gun
you
wasn't
think there was
his,
a
and the
third
first
person there
shot
who was turned into
hit
water?
something that was hidden, I guess.
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would also have no reason to bring an extra gun with him. The gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques, or a third person on the scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying Mr. Callus ended up with the gun because he seized it from one of the other guys? But hold on. If that's what had happened, then why didn't he share the truth with any of us? He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine, and chose instead to prove his honor in a duel. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malus told me a thing or two. So, I think I can understand why he committed to the duel. I'll tell you everything once the whole truth has been revealed.
I understand. Then I'll leave Mr. Callus's honor in your hands, boss. And if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callus the Unfaithful epithet has been a thorn in my side since the day it was invented. Many people have laughed at me for still calling him Mr. Callus, even after so many years have passed. But it was Mr. Callus's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula and live the life I lead today. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man I respect the most. And he'll always be my boss.
Don't worry. I will definitely find the truth. You and all our other comrades at the Spina deserve to know the truth as well.
Okay, so now we have to go into town and find the other two. But where the hell is this Hydroculus? Could it be above where we're at? Like above ground? I guess that's the most probable place for it to be, right? Yeah, probably. Okay. Nope. Okay, so we're going back to the Archon statue. Okay. No, this guy. Hi. I thought
Hey,
we'd go
Thierry,
meet the
it's
other
me.
one first.
Oh, now, what brings you here, Miss Navia? I've heard that you made quite the name for yourself at the Opera House.
Oh, so you've caught news of that already.
Let's see.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
fuck.
Hey, I'm also a member of the guards, you know. The way you make it sound, people would think I was sent off to Poisson because I had done something wrong.
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal circumstances, shouldn't you have been called back to the city already?
I mean, where I work is really up to me. Let's just say I enjoy the ambiance of Poisson. Callus did a
Look, they keep
fantastic
giggling
job
at
running the
Poisson.
town, building Spina di Rosula from the ground up and clearing
That's
many
Fucking
obstructions in
because
my way.
it's such a lame
It would be
name
next
for
to impossible
secret
for me
base.
to find a similarly
Just
easy
fish.
but high-paying
It's not
job
even
in
like
the
big
city.
fish or metal fish. It's just fish.
Anyway, enough chit-chat. Are these two friends of yours? You, here for some formal business?
Ah, yes. These two
Eesh.
are my partners. What happened at the Opera House
Okay,
made
yeah,
us
see,
realize that
just
Lenny's case
like this little
and
bow
my
tie on
father's
her hat
may be
also
related.
makes it look like she has
We're trying to
ears sometimes.
reinvestigate the details of my
Like
father's
depending
old
on
case.
the angle, it looks like.
I get it.
Okay, yeah, and look,
You
she
think
has
there
a
might be
geovision.
more to the case now that we
Interesting.
know people can be dissolved into water, right? I was also flabbergasted when I first heard of it. If you want to go through the original files from your
I
father's
see
case,
it now.
I
Yeah,
can help you look for them.
That'd be much
reminds me of.
appreciated.
Okay, yeah,
Thank
look.
you.
See,
Actually, I
like
have
when the
another
camera is a
question.
little bit more to the
Do you
left,
have the authority to dispatch
this little bow
Gardamex?
tie makes it look like cat ears.
Of
It's kind of like
course.
Kaching all over
Without
again.
them, I couldn't
Even though
possibly
Kaching is way
handle
more
Poisson on
blatant,
my
I
own.
think.
Why do you
Probably
ask?
on purpose. Well,
We definitely
Navia
can't
is probably
use them
not
to
on
forcefully
purpose.
get more evidence for your father's case.
Well, you see, just recently, we were attacked by
Yeah, I
a
don't think
horde
I've
of
seen
unnumbered
any
Gardamex in the city.
Leaks
So,
regarding Navia.
if you hypothetically wanted to do something against me, All you would need to do is get rid of the mecha serial numbers and send them after me.
Then you think too highly of my abilities. Dispatching mecha is very different from controlling them. If I had to
really?
make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. You can ask the chef to cook, but not to massage your shoulders or carry your baggage. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. The same goes for me and my Gardamex. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of complex steps to it, and it's almost impossible to keep it a secret. So I can promise you, those mecha were definitely private units.
Oh yeah, we were attacked by robots.
Certainly not cheap.
When
So
we were at the Fontaine and
whoever their
passed out,
owner is
we woke
must
up to
be
Navia
super
protecting
rich,
us.
powerful, or both. Now that you mention it, though, being in the synth business would definitely be profitable enough to afford this.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, well, thank you for the vote of confidence, Navia. Jokes aside, I'd like to wish you all the best with your investigation. I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so just come find me if you need any support from the guards.
Yeah, so now we have info on the guard guy. So now it's Uncle something or other, right? Somehow it feels like everything is pointing towards this guy. At least so far, right? Okay, good. It didn't take fall damage for the cutscene.
Hello. How may I help you?
I could smell that the
I'm here
game
to
would
see Marcel.
take control away
Could you
from me,
please
so
let
I
him know?
plunged right away.
You can just say Navia's looking for him.
Sure. I will let him know right away.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are giving out a bit.
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. There's no need to stress. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in the Opera House. I'm sure you saw everything too, right?
Yes, I've never seen anything so strange.
Oh, you were at the Opera House too?
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. Who knew it would turn into a whole murder mystery?
Huh.
I also witnessed your marvelous
Wait, so he was
sleuthing
there?
work. Quite impressive.
That's very
To beat
suspicious.
the Hydro Archon at her own
So now
game
he
on
is
her own
placed at
turf,
a scene
I
of
can
the
already
crime.
imagine everyone in Fontaine discussing your exploits over a few glasses of wine.
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to become the talk of drunkards.
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation. Everyone loves drama and theatrics.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing, right? The fact that humans can dissolve in water?
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away. Is that what you're investigating now?
Exactly. I still don't have much solid proof, but I can sense
look.
that the other side has already begun to act.
See? Now it looks like really, really obvious. See? Looks like carriers, kind of. Kind of, if you're not paying too much
and
attention.
what
You see it
makes you
from like
say
the corner
that?
of your eye.
We
Looks
were
like
attacked on
carriers.
Arrhenius by some unnumbered Gardamax.
Okay,
And there was
I
also
won't
an
point it
attempt to
out
get me
anymore,
to drink
but
water from the
that's what it
primordial
looks like to me.
sea.
If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to you right now.
Oh, you're giving us too much credit.
Oh yeah,
Wasn't it you who
Paimon saved
protected us?
Navia by stealing her
Alas,
drink.
It seems things are heating up again. The peace that Callus sought so dearly will soon become a thing of the past. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If you're scared, you can always return there.
I'm gonna keep
If
feeling
anyone
at Poisson,
dares to
aren't
lay their
I?
hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its funds to the last Mora to bring them to justice.
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But I don't intend to go into hiding. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot. Do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age is catching up with me, so it'll take me a while to recall my memory.
Take a while to recall your memory, or take a while to come up with a convincing story, huh?
Was responsible for that banquet.
Huh, old man?
So I was
I
out
think
and about
I see
the
we
whole
should
time,
kill him
making
right
sure
away.
things were running smoothly.
Just capture him
Didn't even
now.
have the time to drink with the guests. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot, and the rest was history.
Of a gunshot. Okay, so that's suspicious.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself. We'll ask around some more. See if there are any valuable clues elsewhere.
Sounds
Yeah, I think
good.
it was the old guy.
Just let me know
I
if
think
you
he's
ever
in on
need
it.
Mora.
Yep, he's
All
in on
my
it.
wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it takes to clear his name.
Rich guy. He could be in the drug business, in the synth business. He just heard the single gunshot. At least he insinuated the single gunshot. Well, everyone else said too. It's him. It's this guy. 100%. I say we just execute him right away. Bring the guillotine. Oh wait. Oh, I have to go up. Okay. Let's take the stairs. It'll probably be faster than climbing.
Useless.
Okay.
We've talked to all three suspects, purely based on their conversations with me.
None of them sounded particularly
What?
suspicious.
None of them. Nah, I think the old
suppose that's to be
guy.
expected, though.
The old guy did.
If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them out, then my father wouldn't have needed to investigate the case for so many years. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile what we were able to find.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun because of circumstance. That makes sense.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice before he left home that day.
Yeah, so he knew he was gonna die, which means he
If
was
I had to guess,
in on the
he
plan.
probably received an order from the synth boss to kill my father. Had he refused, he and his family's lives would have been forfeit.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
You wouldn't fire the shot at all.
And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission, he'd be of no more use to his boss.
Yeah, and besides, they have already
So
proven that they
what would
are
make
willing
more
to
sense from his
assassinate.
perspective would be to turn
with,
his
like,
back on
poison.
the order and seek protection from my father.
Yeah, because they've already proven that they were willing to poison, so there's no point in a gunshot murder. They could just put the primordial water in Navia's dad's drink, and he would die like that, right? So either the plan must have been to seek protection for him, like they're saying, or he was in on
Makes sense.
being murdered.
But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides
If he'd be
Jacques,
dead,
the attack from the Gardamex has been
he
bothering me
wouldn't be able
quite a bit as
to
well.
snitch.
It's obvious that our enemy
Right?
has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this lead to the end?
Given everything that's happened since, it's quite possible. But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex?
Wait, what was the old guy's name? Marcel,
Uncle
right?
Marcel?
Yeah.
My
Mongus.
father did really trust him. And they worked together on a large number of projects. Maybe that's how he got to know Jacques. And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large number of Gardamex. It's still really hard for me to imagine, though. After all, Uncle Marcel has been around since I was just a child. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of Mora and energy to fight his own synth business?
Maybe it was just a cover-up. Nah, I think it's just a cover-up to cover his trail. I don't think. I think this is just a misdirection. I don't think anyone else would do it.
It is true that he was closest to my father, and thus had the best chance of learning about his dealings with Jacques. But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security, so he shouldn't have much means when it comes to finances.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Well, yeah.
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be able to dispatch a whole group so quickly.
I still think
Thierry,
it was the old guy.
Huh. It is possible that he's figured out a way to convert the Gardamex for personal use. But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha. I also don't think he'd be able to keep that kind of tampering under wraps.
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to prove it with a simple check of the guard's inventory.
Yeah, exactly.
If
He'd be
the
found
mecha were
out too
taken
quickly.
from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Who could it be?
You still think it was Marcel? No, there's still information missing, I guess.
You know, if you think everything through,
Yeah, exactly.
Uncle Marcel is indeed the most suspicious of them all.
That's what I'm saying.
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into water thing when he narrowed it down to these three, did he?
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair and well considered. When he
Wait.
laid out his case for the three, the
Wait, could it be
rationale he gave
Malus?
me made a lot of sense as well. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch Mecha to assassinate us, and possesses significant intellect and foresight. Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
Wait, it could be Malus,
we
right?
still have another
Because he's the one
card on
who
top of
sent
all
us
the
on this
theorizing and
wild
speculating.
goose chase.
Yes, Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. But we don't have any other options right now.
Could be him.
We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guards? Did something happen?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got another trial on our hands.
Huh? Another trial?
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this one?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a
Wait.
Fatui harbinger called Tartaglia.
Wait, child is going to trial?
What? Is that someone you know?
Wait, okay, so you need to
we
bail
know
out
him.
Tartaglia?
Maybe even a little too well.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial
What?
disappearances case. It's absurd, don't you think?
Yeah, it's completely
Wait, how?
out of question.
None of
There's
our
no way
investigations
he
have had
kills
anything to do
people
with him.
in a
That's what
in
I
an
thought was
obscure
strange
way.
about it, so I came to tell you the news right away. If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to
Also,
support
could he
any
just-
of our planned investigations.
Also,
Right.
Tartaglia,
Because they'll
who's
think
going to
they've
trial?
already
Isn't
found
he just
the culprit.
doing the duel?
Yeah.
He
And it'll
looks
be a
like the kind
lot
of person who
harder
just
then to clear
go to the
Mr.
duel
Callus's name.
and use his little special technique and win.
I
right?
understand.
Maybe he wouldn't let him use
Well,
the
partner,
delusion.
What do you think we should do? We still haven't found any conclusive evidence. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just as
Okay.
expected of my partner.
I thought we'd be the ones going to
Since
try to
this is a
save
trial
Tartaglia.
about the serial disappearances case, the culprit's attention will be focused on Irenaeus, leaving his home base wide open.
Yeah, I guess that makes
You're
sense.
right. This is our best opportunity. All right then, let's do this. I'll stall them at the Opera House and charge Marcel as the true culprit. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to you to make it back in time and hand the decisive evidence to me.
We'll help
Okay.
you, just like
That's the
you
plan.
helped us in Lenny's trial.
Also, I feel like the fact
Demoiselle,
that we
please allow
have
us to accompany you.
I'm
the
right.
fact that we have child's vision
Malou, Silver,
is somehow gonna save his
when did
his
you two
butt.
get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require our assistance.
Why do they keep giggling at
It's
Poisson?
our hope that
Doesn't make any
your
sense.
confidence will be bolstered with the two of us by your side.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Arrhenius. Paimon, Traveler, I'll see you at the Opera House.
See you then!
Okay. Okay, so we're being teleported there. That's good.
Now that Navia has set out for Arrhenius,
Yep.
we should also get going.
Yep.
The location has already
Okay,
been
no.
marked on the map.
Focus on the
so
quest.
let's head
Focus on the
over.
quest.
Huh. According to Malusa's info, the synth production base is underwater.
Okay,
Let's go and try
go.
to find the entrance.
Yeah, wait, is this it? Oh, nope. Nope, this is the quest thing. the event.
Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. You're right. An important place like
Okay.
this is bound to have a ton of protective measures and mechanisms. Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
Meanwhile, inside the opera. Okay. Oh. Okay, I wonder how Tartaglia is doing. Because he is obviously innocent. Not even for the fact that he is a playable character. Just because he
It would
doesn't
appear that I
kill
must
people
repeat my
in a
question
stealthy
again,
way.
Mr. Tartaglia.
He just kills people
Do you
outright.
accept the
He
charge
tried to
that you are the
destroy
true culprit
Liwa
behind the
with a
serial
fucking
disappearances
god.
case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in a duel to clear
Oh,
their
of
name.
course he
Is
wants
that
to
right?
go to the duel.
In which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right? I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing offers I've ever received.
Yep, that sounds like Tartaglia.
When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand? You're currently the prime suspect for a major case. This isn't the place for you to be looking for fights.
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas,
Okay,
it
so
would
she is
appear
not
that
a good fighter.
communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him. You've got the wrong man.
Huh? What's going on? Why is she interjecting again?
I told you it couldn't be one of the Fatui Harbingers.
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior last time because you were able to provide the court with a key eyewitness. But that was an exception rather than standard court protocol. I can very well charge you with contempt of court for your interjections.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to charge the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default, correct?
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, I'd gotten half bored to death by all these rules and procedures anyway, so I'll take you up on that offer. So, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is the person you would like to charge instead?
That person is...
Yeah. So Marcel, right?
Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabriere!
Huh? What confrérie? Never heard of them in my life.
I've heard of them, but weren't they Spina di Rosula's sister organization?
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. Committing to the charge also means taking on the legal responsibilities associated with it. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation. Knowing this, do you still wish to charge this man?
Yes, I do.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he may stand trial. Mr.
Okay,
Marcel,
so there's the old guy.
You will not require an attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well. In that case, since both sides have now arrived, Miss Navia, please present your charges.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances case.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor, and remember, both you and I only ran to the scene when we heard the sound of a gun. If that's enough to make me a suspect, wouldn't that make everyone at that banquet a suspect as well?
I think there's no point in getting into the specifics right now. The audience doesn't even have the big picture yet. Even I'm struggling to remember some details of that case.
Exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage.
Okay.
On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabriere. During the banquet,
so
all
they actually
attending
owned
guests heard
the
2
place.
gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Clarand in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques still had no reason to pull the trigger. In truth, the third person shot Jacques first, and was shot in turn by my father when my father seized the gun from him.
Yep.
After that, the true
Sounds
culprit
about right.
turned the third person into water, erasing all traces of him from the scene. Thank you for the summary, Your Honor. Of course, the guard's conclusion appeared quite sensible to us at the time. However, we should revisit the case now that we've gained new information about the abilities of water from the primordial sea.
Okay, wait, hold on. Wait. So it should be like this? Yep. Then like this?
Something's...
No, it's...
A pile of clothing clothing was found
It's on the
at
third
scene.
one, okay.
The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice.
Huh. Okay. Oh wait, like this? Nope. Wait, so I don't get to say he didn't have a gun with him? Okay, just gonna have to go by process of elimination. Wait, so 2 gunshots, but...
The testimony of the victim's family confirms that Jacques had thoughts of assassinating Callus when he set out for the banquet. However, in the end he reconsidered, and instead shared everything with Callus, hoping to seek the latter's protection. Unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility, and had sent out another assassin.
Okay.
This assassin first shot Jacques, then turned to shoot Callus, only for Callus to wrestle the gun from him and kill him instead.
Yep.
Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
Yep. Sounds about right. And the old guy was the one who owned the place where this all happened. So he's undoubtedly connected to it.
Ah, so that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory. It also explains Callus's and Jacques' respective motives. I guess they didn't shoot each other after all.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine 2 things. 1, do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
I'm afraid not. At least not at this very moment.
Boo! If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home!
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearances case, the guards probably kept careful records of all missing persons from around that time, regardless of age or gender.
That makes sense to me. Monsieur Neuvillette, I would consider this to be a reasonable investigative direction.
Why do I feel like Farina's acting a little differently today?
Maybe she's scared of embarrassing herself again?
Alternatively, she's become more diligent after charging an innocent citizen in the last trial.
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you described, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person had been dissolved, he could have at least mounted a defense.
I've thought about this too, and the answer is actually pretty simple. He felt there were things that were more important to him. The dissolving power of water from the primordial sea is an important secret for the true culprit of the serial disappearances case. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that going forward with the truth would allow the culprit to be brought to justice. What was certain, however, was that it would paint a gigantic target on my back.
Boss once told me that Demoiselle had already been selected as the next target of the serial disappearances case.
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. I wouldn't have been the only one in danger. All of us would have stood to lose our lives. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter and determine that we were in the right. But what good would that do? How can a hollow verdict protect anyone? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, we retain the ability to deter our opponents and continue the stalemate. I was able to become Spina di Rosula's president, which made me harder to target, as well as giving me more time to grow and learn. And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge, I will do what this opera house cannot, and restore my father's truth and honor back to him.
So, you mean
And
to
also
say
save Talia.
your father intended to die in the duelist's ring?
That's right.
Do you have any proof?
Of course. All you need is to ask his opponent, Clarand. I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to you, Clarand, you should tell us the truth about his sacrifice.
So, during the duel, did you believe that Callus was intending to die?
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living.
Yeah, if there's
Some
something
were
I can say about Fontaine,
others
that the
passionate, and some even
the
manic
cutscenes
and
are way
twisted.
too long.
Just one look and I can tell if a duelist is hoping to live or if they're looking to die.
I feel like
I
we've been in
hereby
this cutscene
swear
for
on
like
my name
20
and honor
minutes.
as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the
Yeah,
ring
this
alive.
is going on and on. And
Since
we're not
that's your
even in this
testimony,
cutscene.
I have no more questions. It appears there really are good
We don't even
grounds
get to like
reopen this
press
case.
a text
concur.
prompt every like
However,
5
Miss
minutes.
Navia, you still have not explained the link between
just
your
get to
father's
watch.
case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia. It's one of your most endearing traits.
No need to appeal to pathos.
I won't try to refute your points one by one, but even if everything you just said was true, can you prove that I was the only person present at both events? On top of that, does a person have to be physically present to control the timing? Can't someone remotely monitor the place?
Don't know what she can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations until I'm the only one left on the list. Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter? But if I were to dismiss this completely, you'd also think I'm not being considerate of your feelings. Ah well, let Uncle Marcel teach you another lesson. Do you know what the biggest flaw in your reasoning is?
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade. From that standpoint, there's no reason for me to kidnap young women. It's a high-risk action with nothing to gain.
Yeah, I guess that's right. He doesn't really have a motive.
I left my home in Snezhnaya when I was young to come to Poisson and work in some trade. My business only thrived when I received Callus's patronage. But the disappearances began before I ever stepped foot in Fontaine.
I do apologize, demoiselle. This was my mistake.
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure he had come prepared.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check the date of my first business license against the first known case of the serial disappearances? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya for the first time. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable anguish in your heart?
Seems like she got the wrong guy. At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely accusing him.
I think you've done a superb job of dissecting your father's feelings as he neared the end of his life. But aren't you going against all of his wishes and expectations right now?
It's huge.
He wished for you to become more rational, collected, and conscientious, instead of dwelling only on your own feelings. Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong into things, you'd have met most of his expectations.
This isn't just about me. And it never
I still
has
think
been.
it's this old guy. Still think it's
The
him.
biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth, while that same agency has long been taken from them. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's images are flashing before my eyes. I'm sure some are coming to those of you in the audience as well. And whose image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher?
Yeah, so he knows Vacher.
So you do know that name.
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name of someone I've never even heard of.
I was
what
waiting for you to say that.
What a dumb lie. What a weak lie. Oh, wait. Oh my god, we get to actually play the game again. Oh, finally, please don't be another cutscene. Please, 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 let me actually control the game. Oh, I can control the game. Finally, finally. Oh, finally. Wait, what the hell is this? Oh. Oh, this is a domain. Oh, okay. Sure, let's bring my Archon team. Select this. Nope. Where's... No, 20. Okay.
Shine down! Brace yourself. Think you can get away?
Okay, let's go. Come on, finally we get to actually fight.
Illusion shut!
Nope, okay, it's an elevator. But I'm not missing any chests or anything like that.
That guy really prepared a lot of stuff
Nope.
for this place.
Okay, chest. Anything else? Doesn't look like it. Okay. Oh man, finally.
Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up.
No, there's doors around there. Okay. Okay, let's go. Nope. Nope, flooded with even more water. Okay. Okay, okay.
The water level is rising. Now we can swim to the top. But this is still a ways away from where we need to go.
Gather!
Everyone hold hands.
There is no escape. Let's play. Inazuma shines eternal.
Okay. I'm still thinking about the old guy. Like, he is 100% culprit. Like, what would his reason even be?
Illusion shattered.
Yes, he did bring up a pretty good point. Like, why would he kill young women? Unless he wants like the prophecy to become true. Because maybe he sees it as a way to help Snezhnaya. Because him being from Snezhnaya actually adds to his culpability, let's be honest. Okay. Down here. Nope. Okay. Okay. This would be pretty epic if this is gonna be a boss fight. This doesn't really look like a boss fight.
Stabilize!
What a time for takeoff.
Okay.
Now you shall perish. Ha! Ha! Ha!
Yeah, not really much of a boss fight. Nope. Okay. Now we're in a cave system. Okay.
After all that, we finally made it to the innermost sanctum. Though, as expected, the mastermind isn't here.
Yep. So
That's
of course
right.
it's normal.
Then let's hurry up and find some evidence so we can get back to the Opera House and help Navia. What's all this? Aw, it's a bunch of really cute things.
Bunch of cute
Pink
things. What?
accessories, a hair
Wait.
tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but why are all
Yeah,
these
the
cute
victims,
things
of
labeled
course.
with different girls' names? Huh? You mean the girls from the serial disappearances? They were brought here? And then they were turned into water. And all the boxes of things. These names. That means...
Huh.
Oh, this is terrible. Let's see what's written here. Nothing escapes Detective Paimon's eyes. Callus. Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be an investigation report on him.
An investigation report.
Yep, it's about finding someone to assassinate Jacques and Callus because of a lack of confidence that Jacques himself would go through with it. This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have not determined the exact content of the key information Callus has passed on to certain members of his organization. The old dog's a real menace to deal with. Even if he abides by the promise he's made to us, he will still have the upper hand. He can act whenever he wants to make our lives miserable. The only option left is to remove him from the picture entirely. I concur. Let's send someone to kill him. He won't declare war as long as we don't touch
Who the fuck says that
Navia.
themselves?
Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the
correspondence.
higher-ups. They're all just so evil.
Okay, so it's at least 2 people. So it isn't just the old guy. And these bottles look like that primordial seawater.
Here. And so many bottles of ingredients that probably just contain the waters of the primordial sea. Mixing in progress. Ready to drink? Stock sample? Huh. They've also got all the synth pretty clearly labeled. Whoa, there's even fruit-flavored synth? Yep, it's super obvious.
Okay, and now this should be the last
What's this over
investigation spot, right?
Looks like some kind of place for research. Experiment number 16 aims to verify Jacob Ingold's research conclusions on the primordial sea and use his theory as a foundation to achieve a breakthrough.
No, and the
experiment was a
girls that
failure.
kidnapped was...
No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea.
Yep.
Female
Were
specimens
test subjects.
22, 23, and 24 were dissolved.
Oh, poor Paimon.
Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. It's just that Paimon's never read something so scary before. How can someone write something that terrible in such a matter-of-fact tone? You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going.
The goal is to save his lover.
So that's why he did all of these experiments.
Wait, haven't we heard
Do you
that
really
name
think he'd be
before?
able to find a way just by
think we did.
dissolving people over and over? That's just insane! Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
He's researcher. Wait, so he is the mastermind,
Vacher is the
actually.
one who did all of these... experiments? So
Yeah, the
that's
voice
it.
we heard was the
Vacher
lady.
was no victim, but personally took his lover and... No, that's not it either. If that's the case, why would he want people to resurface from the water? In any case, Paimon will write it all down.
Okay. So Vacher isn't a witness. He is the bad guy. So, are we missing something? There's an invisible ball here. But I think we examined everything, right? I think. Wait, what am I missing? Can I go through here? Nope. No. The pool, of course. I didn't see the...
There's an important looking basin
like the
over
shining
here,
thing.
and it's full of water. That means this is where they make all the synth, and that special water is the main ingredient. If you dilute it with normal water, you'll get synth, but the pure stuff can dissolve a human. Paimon will take notes on this incriminating evidence.
Interesting.
We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems like our theories were spot on. But, yeah, we haven't found anything that reveals his true identity. No wonder even Nervalette wasn't able to find anything. Whoever it is probably destroyed everything to do with that name a long time ago. That way, even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit. Sure thing.
Maybe he isn't clever
Paimon
enough.
won't admit
Yeah.
defeat to this guy either.
Okay, so clues related to Vacher. Nothing in his true identity. Nothing here. Maybe you can find a
Side, and
pattern.
Paimon will take this side. Check everything. Ugh, nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either. his lover's name? Then you found her diary. Let's see. Aw, it's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. She was so sweet, too. Oh, Paimon feels even worse for her now.
Wait,
So many! A whole page's
they're all
worth!
crossed out, and one is selected.
Was she unhappy with all of them? The final name she decided on was... Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old. Has this case been going on for so long that he's Vacher and Vinier's grown son?
Oh, wait, so that's it. And then he continued the research to try to save his mom.
Still hasn't figured it out
That's
yet?
it. Oh, okay, wait. That's actually somehow a little bit tragic. I mean, it doesn't excuse the, you know, the murders of dozens of people, but still, okay,
And
it actually
whose
makes sense.
image do you see, Marcel? Is it a man named Vacher? Oh, so you
Okay,
do.
wait, so we already seen this
I
part.
was waiting for you to say that.
Okay.
As expected of my partner, I just knew you'd return in the nick of time.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this court?
Oh, poor
It's all right,
Neuvillette.
Monsieur Neuvillette. Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
Okay, so there should be the should be the diary.
But the truth of it, Marcel,
Wait,
is that you've always been Vacher.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair and we already know everything! After your lover, Vinier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you! You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher!
Yeah, I thought it'd be something a
Even
little bit
the
more
villains
tragic.
in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living
But
people
how
around
does she
you.
know that?
So, you
Wait,
never
how does she
noticed
know
how we
that?
changed, or how we grew as individuals.
We didn't say anything about that.
Also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this? Pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water. So I must have gone mad from grief. Vinier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever. You only have yourselves to blame. You set up this ornate opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while
Okay, so he's just
turning a blind
admitting
eye
to
to the
everything.
suffering of the people. Vinier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow. But I'm not from this blasted place, so I can't be dissolved, no matter what I do.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve, can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go, I can't follow. So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect
man,
is
he's really
exhibiting
losing
signs
his
of
mind.
mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Vignier. I promise. We made a promise. Vignier. Vignier! Please, Vignier. Don't think badly of me. All I want to do is fulfill our promise.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
So child is
Fine
safe.
by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case. The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover Vignier. During an underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result.
Wait, so that was
Vacher
what
learned
happened?
of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering
Be
a
a little bit
method to
more
restore
tragic.
Vignier back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson.
Still, I'm going to giggle every time they say poisson.
During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently,
It still doesn't
Vacher
really make
attempted
sense.
to
Like,
frame Linny
how
as
can
the
he
culprit of the serial
dissolve
disappearances case using a
people
similar
from far
method.
away?
However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher.
Okay, we get a little animation again.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Yep.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that, the serial disappearances case is over now.
We really just witnessed history. Who would have thought the true culprit would be such a polite and well-spoken guy?
Yippee! We helped Navia bring the bad guy to justice! He's hurt so many innocent people and now he's finally getting what he deserves! Huh? Are you okay?
Demoiselle, you were absolutely brilliant.
The day our late boss had always hoped for has finally come. You can rest easy now, knowing justice has been served.
Yeah. Yeah. It's finally over. It's all thanks to you guys. And my partner. See, Papa? Spina di Rosula's still doing well with me at the helm.
Well now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending.
Yeah, I guess
Since
he's
it's been
right.
such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to. So, if you'll excuse me...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
What now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage left?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
Okay, so they need to give him an innocent verdict, I
but this
guess.
sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Tartaglia is guilty.
What? Okay, I kind of expected
Hey!
this.
That's not
But
funny!
why did it say
Didn't you
he
just
is
say I'm
guilty?
supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict.
But what did he do then?
Please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
Wait, so he's just gonna run away, isn't he? Yep.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
Yep. Oh, it's actually really nice to see Tartaglia actually using Electro. Oh wait, he's using his final move, right? Yeah. Wait, I wonder if he was considered guilty because of that.
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
I kind of expected... Oh, he actually got a hit in. Oh, nice.
Hey, Monsieur Novelette?
I mean, he went down like a punk, but at least Tartaglia got a hit in.
Apologies. This is
Like,
also
I kind of
the first time
expected
I've encountered
it to have
such a
been
situation.
Farina to
However,
stop it.
according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it! I don't know what happened there either! Hey, stop staring at me!
What does Lady Farina mean by that?
Okay, so
She
she
says
didn't
she has no idea either?
do anything.
But that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court?
So now she's just going to lie her way out of this.
Believe that the judgment could be mistaken
Okay.
or be the result of some sort of random mishap? Don't tell me you thought even I had been blindsided by the Oratrice's result.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
However, given the state of things, I shall give you an explanation. Everything that just took place, including my supposed shock and bafflement, was a part of an elaborate performance, with every action meant to stir up drama and excitement. And, of course, for every performance, there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the very beginning. As the embodiment of the very concept of justice, the Oratrice shall never render an arbitrary judgment! If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of innocence. Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely unforgivable!
I mean, he's actually innocent in this specific case. He's guilty of a whole lot more, but
my
not
noble
this.
intentions, as well as the absolute correctness of the Oratrice's verdict.
The one thing he's actually innocent of is sends him to jail.
Leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance to end. As the lead actress, I shall be the first to take my leave. Toodaloo!
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
Yep.
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
Yep.
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea.
Yep.
However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff, so he should have known he'd go to prison someday, right?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, he is guilty of a lot of things, but this is not one of them. Honestly, like... Oh well, let's see where this goes.
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him!
Traveler! Hey! Traveler!
What does he want with us?
Marcel! What are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list.
No, wait! I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Oh, he wants to know how we knew the name.
Thank you. Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vache? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up. You've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along. And I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever make in my life. You can do whatever you want to me afterwards. I don't care.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests like that?
Paimon agrees.
Yeah, exactly.
Why should we give him what he wants when he's only done a ton of super terrible things?
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course! Wait, no. It's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spiritual needs?
Yeah, see? So that's just confirming he isn't human.
Very well. I will grant your request.
Which also kind of is proven by the fact that he took down
I will go with you.
so easily.
You do not need to worry about any escape.
In that
Granted,
case,
Tartaglia
I
is
shall leave
like
him
the
in your
weakest
most capable
Fatui,
hands, Chief
like
Justice.
the weakest Harbinger.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so now you gotta go to the fountain. All right. But we can't really show her Vashe, can we? Because only us have the affinity. Right? No, I have to go to the other side. Okay.
Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah, and even Paimon could hear her after drinking that thing. Didn't you just drink a lot of it on the stage as well? Oh, in that case...
Vashe.
Ah!
Yes, that's it! So you heard it too!
Vignier, it's me! It's me, Vashe!
Vashe? Vashe.
I'm here! I'm here! Where are you, Vignier? I'm coming for you. I'm finally here for you.
Hey, wait! Be careful! Hey, wait!
Wait, is he gonna melt into water as well?
Vignier, is that you? It's me, Vashe! Vignier!
Vashe? Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for over 20 years since the day you left. All this time, only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. Nothing else mattered to me. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this? Vignier,
Somehow I don't think she's gonna be very happy.
I really don't know how I could live without you.
But Vashe, if you ask me,
Yep.
this world would be better off without you.
Because he dissolved all those women.
What are you saying?
Which means that she knows everything.
I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your selfishness, Vashe. It's all
Okay, I didn't
because
expect that.
of you.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's just like the
Wait, you are not
the other
Vignier.
ladies.
Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vignier. I am the sacrifices.
Yep.
Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea.
Yep.
Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, And we were no longer individuals, but we became one. Just as streams of water come together in the sea. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vignier.
Wait.
Why?
How is she nothing yet?
Where is Vignier?
How is she everyone
want
except
to see you
her?
anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any and everything for her. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became? You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist.
It would be kind of weird if he got redeemed after all of that.
The only thing you are not is Vignier's beloved.
I mean, he is a drug dealer and murderer, so I mean, no matter how tragic you are, like that doesn't excuse anything.
Nothing but pure hatred for you.
No! Yeah! She can't hate me. Let me see her. Please! Have mercy!
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vignier. She really doesn't want to see you anymore.
Makes sense. Especially after meeting all the girls that he murdered.
It's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Yep.
Vache. 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 Drown.
Good, what about all the guys that he dissolved as well? Because he didn't just dissolve girls, right? He also explicitly dissolved one of the guards. He lost his soul. What? What do you mean he lost his soul? What the fuck? Okay, so I guess they got their revenge.
Finally, we have some time to do shopping. Gosh, it's really been a long time since we've been able to relax.
Well met, partner. I knew something great was going to happen when I woke up in such a good mood today.
Even this weather can't put a damper on the demoiselle's mood.
It's a pleasure to see you both again.
Oh, hey, Navia! It's been a few days. Paimon's already started to miss you.
Oh, now that I believe. I'm easy to work with and always bring home the bacon. Who wouldn't treasure having a partner like me?
Sounds like you're really enjoying life these days, Navia. What have you been busy with since the trial?
It's just been one thing after the other. I've been making non-stop trips between Poisson and the courts in Seine.
Oh, I'm
Everyone
gonna keep
from
giggling
Spina
about
di
Poisson,
Rosula
aren't I?
organized a memorial for my father. We never held a memorial when he first died, since everyone knew that even if we held one back then, no one was going to come. This time, though, everyone in Poisson, and even many people from the court all attended.
It's gonna happen every single time.
So his name's definitely been cleared now. That's what we like to hear.
It's been the dearest wish of Demoiselle all along.
That blasted stubborn fool. I was right to put my faith in him. I'm so glad I didn't give up on the case all those years ago. Oh, by the way, I ran into Charlotte just after I left the memorial service.
Who?
Well, maybe it'd be more accurate to say I knew she would be there, and there was no way she'd just let me go.
Huh? So you know Charlotte too?
Oh, right, the journalist.
Journalist from the Steambird?
Yeah, way back when I first became the president of the Spina di Rosula, she was all over me. Wouldn't take no for an answer. I believe the story was called The True Heart of Darkness, Secret Tales of the Yellow Rose. To be fair, though, it was a really flattering feature. So, we've been on pretty good terms ever since. She was trying to lean on our friendship to get me to do an exclusive piece on the serial disappearances case.
Oh yeah, she told us about that. She's always been super interested in that case, so now her wishes finally come true too.
Anyway, I told her to make sure that when she writes about you guys entering the opera house with the critical evidence, that you both sound really cool.
Now that's another thing to look forward to. We trust Charlotte's skills with a pen for sure.
Oh, and in other news, I also took Clorand out for a meal.
Clorand?
Oh, are you two on better terms now?
While you were investigating Vashey's headquarters, Clorand gave testimony on my father's behalf.
Huh. And wait, did she also say anything about
It was thanks to her that we were able to turn the tide.
Because that guy has been rotting in jail.
I mean, there's also no point in being awkward all the time. So we took the chance to reconcile with each other.
Oh, that's great. Paimon also thought Clorand wasn't actually a bad person. It's always good to have more friends.
Anyway, now that the case has finally been solved, perhaps it will slowly begin to fade from the public consciousness. Oh, actually, there's still one last thing I need to do.
Still thinking.
What is it?
Where is Child's vision gonna fit in?
I should pay a visit to my father's grave and tell him the truth of what happened, as well as how it all ended. And on top of that, just how much people still look up to him to this day. That includes me, too.
Miss Navia.
Indeed.
We want to go too! We also think Callus is a really admirable person.
Sure thing. I'd like you two to share the moment with me. After all, without you, there might not have been such a positive ending.
And in that case, everyone, let's be off. Considering the recent weather, we'll be lucky if we can reach Poisson before dark.
Yeah, you're right. It's been raining non-stop for a few days now.
No, that means Neuvillette is still sad about everything. I mean, I guess he has a lot to be sad about, right? Like, for the first time in his life, he's actually been contradicted by the machine.
This is where my father's grave is. To be perfectly honest, even I haven't been back here for a long time.
Huh? There's someone there already. Wait. That figure. It can't be...
Hmm?
Isn't that Neuvillette?
Oh.
Why would the Chief Justice be here? Huh? Navia?
My apologies. I should have asked before coming to pay my respects.
Don't say that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I was trying to say there's no need for you to apologize. I wanted to show my father how much I've grown, but still, I doubt I've grown to the point that even the Chief Justice would feel compelled to apologize to me over and over.
In that case, I will stop apologizing for now.
You really could use some pointers on understanding human emotions, Monsieur Neuvillette. In any case, why did you come to Poisson?
Actually, I just noticed that, like, these strands of hair, the blue ones, make him look like one of those
over and over in my head.
Chinese dragons.
Just what is justice anyway?
Like the really long ones.
There was once a time when I didn't want to believe that there could be anything more
I don't know if
important
they
to
have
humans than life itself.
a special name.
Oh,
But
rather
yeah,
than that,
you know the ones.
it's probably
like
more truthful to say I didn't believe humans were capable of resisting the most basic
Chinese dragon.
instinct of living things. That they could rebel against their own nature, or consider certain things to be more important than their own lives. Which is also why I didn't stop your father from beginning that fateful duel. I believed that a truly innocent man would never throw away his life like that. That there was nothing, should have been nothing more important than one's own continued survival. But Mr. Callus proved me utterly and decisively wrong. If not for his sacrifice, the serial disappearances case would have remained unsolved.
Why does
to this day.
Neuvillette and Furina
Mr.
have
Callus
to
made the
be
choice he did for his daughter, or his associates.
have to be
For
on
many
banners so
people
close to each
completely
other?
unrelated to him. And in the end,
Otherwise, I'd wish
from
for
a
both.
certain perspective, one could say that he did it all for the sake of justice. A justice that's higher than life itself. So, you asked me why I came here. I just wanted to say my apologies to Mr. Callus in person. I should have noticed all of this much sooner. This regret has filled me with a sadness that has haunted me for days.
Yep.
That high and mighty chair in the Opera Epiclese indeed insulates one from many important things. Spina di Rosula, thank you so much for your hard work and perseverance.
I'm sorry for being mad at you before. So, you're actually one of those types that's cold on the outside, but pretty thoughtful on the inside, huh? That reminds me of Silver, one of my guys.
Sorry about that. Self-expression is not one of my strong suits.
Didn't I just
Actually,
say
sounds a
you
lot
don't
like
need to
Zhongli, which is
apologize?
interesting because they're both dragons.
Ah, so Navia and Neuvillette seem to have made their peace as well. Let's not disturb them for now. We can wait till after they're done. Paimon's never paid respects at someone's grave before. Did Paimon do anything rude there? Huh? Oh, Paimon didn't know that was a thing. But Paimon doesn't know what she would do if she can't fly. Oh no. Paimon hopes Miss Navia won't be too mad.
Oh, poor Paimon.
Anyway, Neuvillette is still standing around there. It's not often that we can catch him alone like this, so why don't we go talk to him for a bit? If we can't talk to Lady Furina, we can at least talk to him, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. You can ask him about Tartaglia.
Oh, it's you two. Did Miss Navia invite you to come pay your respects to her father?
Mm-hmm. We ran into Navia on the streets today, so we just followed her here.
I see, I see. Then is there something that I can help you with?
Well, it's pretty hard to run into you like this since you're usually super busy. So we figured we could try to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
Please feel free. Though outsiders, you helped us solve one of the greatest mysteries in Fontaine, and it would be my pleasure to return the favor.
Okay, about child,
my apologies. My investigation has still not reached its conclusion.
Okay.
However, I still believe the judgment of the Oratrice was not rendered arbitrarily.
But you also said you thought he was innocent.
For many years, I have been quite aware that the Oratrice does not simply mechanically repeat the verdict that I give on each case. As a divinely created mechanism, the people's unified faith in the concept of justice is integrated into it. Not only can it produce the incredible power of indemnitium, but it likely also possesses other traits, such as self-awareness.
So maybe
Which is all to
Judge
say, I've been
Child
prepared
is
for a
guilty
situation like
because he's a
this
Fatui
for a long
and
time.
he just doesn't like Fatui? Or maybe because of the delusion.
So when Lenny told us that he heard a human voice from the room where the Oratrice's core is stored...
I was not aware such a thing had occurred. Perhaps that could serve to prove my conjecture. I will add that to the list of items to investigate. In any case, I am inclined to believe that the Oratrice does have a methodology all its own. We just do not have enough information. Based on Furina's reaction, I doubt even she had any idea what was going on. She managed to bluff her way through it, though, with her time-tested twin tricks of bravado and drama. While we do intend to get to the bottom of this, for now, we regret to say that the Fatui Harbinger will just have to bide his time in the fortress of Meripede.
Okay, interesting.
If we did incorrectly convict him of crimes he did not commit, we will most certainly compensate him to the fullest extent allowed by the law.
If you ask Paimon, the only compensation he'll want
Yep.
is a no-holds-barred fight with you.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Okay. Well, let's see about the water.
At court, the bad
What even
guys
is the
referred to
primordial
that
sea?
special water as water from the primordial sea. But what is it really?
Truthfully, that name is already quite accurate. I can only surmise that Vache and his ilk only learned of its nature and existence after extensive research. There used to be a special sea on the surface of this planet. The nature of its seawater was rather different from that of the sea we know today. Most of Tevat's life forms were first born in that special sea. You could say it nurtured much of the life on this planet.
Huh. So it really was where everything began. It makes sense to call it primordial then.
But today, the primordial sea no longer exists on the planet's surface. What Vache discovered must have been some kind of special case, or a remnant from a truly ancient age.
Huh. So that's how it is. Oh, you really know everything, Monsieur Neuvillette. But if that's the case, then why would people, at least people from Fontaine, dissolve in that kind of water?
Indeed. Why would the primordial sea, which was known to engender and nurture life, suddenly reverse itself and devour life instead? To be frank, that also doesn't match my understanding of this world and its laws. There must still be some unknown secrets around the people of this land. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Interesting. So people from Fontaine are special in some way? Different?
That the sea levels will rise and everyone will be dissolved in water, leaving Farina crying alone on her throne, but the sins of the people will be finally washed away for good. Does that appropriately summarize the version you've heard?
That's right!
Yep, that's
it was
just about
Liddy
it.
that told us back then. And that about covers all the main points.
Yes, up to the present, I think we reached a point where we have no choice but to confront this prophecy directly. Rumors have it that this prophecy is rooted in the last words the former Hydro Archon left to the world before she passed away.
A prophecy? Of the former Hydro Archon? Wow. This is the first time that we've ever heard of it.
2 parts of the prophecy have already proven correct. The rising sea levels and the ability of the people of Fontaine to be dissolved. We should be more vigilant and stay on the watch for further signs. Speaking of the prophecy, Farina has also always taken it quite seriously. Indeed, she has been collecting information and intelligence from across Tevat for this purpose.
Oh, wait, so
If the
that's why
rumors were
the
true,
Oceanids
then
are like
perhaps this
spies.
prophecy is the conundrum left to Farina
Because we
by
know
her
Oceanids
predecessor.
are spies from...
With Farina being the way
Is
she
it from the event? From the event where we got our little Oceanid
Is
pet?
there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
I don't remember if it's a world quest in Lua or the event. But yes, we do know that Oceanids around the world are spies from the Hydro Archon. So maybe that's it. Maybe they're looking for intel.
Your sibling? Another blonde-haired traveler? I'm sorry, but I've never seen anyone who matches that description. If she ever stepped foot in Fontaine, I'm sure she followed our laws to the letter, and had no reason to appear on the stage of the opera Epiclese. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me about?
Okay, so that's pretty much it.
Very well. It was my honor to provide you with what answers I could. I very much enjoyed conversing with you. It will soon be time for me to leave this blissful tranquility behind and return to Palais Memoria.
You really are super busy, Monsieur Neuvillette. Paimon thought you only came here to pay your respects today because you had the day off.
Crime and villainy do not have the day off, and so justice must work around the clock as well. This is merely the nature of a justice's work.
All right. You've got a point. Huh? Paimon just noticed that the rain has stopped.
Hey, there we go. No, we got a thing for the traveler. Here. One of the constellation things. Interesting. Wait, I also feel like I saw... Yep, there's a Hydroculus there. Okay, let's open this chest and go grab the Hydroculus. Also, it's interesting that child got guilty verdict. So it can't have been a guilty verdict for what was being put on trial, right?
Useless.
Certainly worth the extra mile.
It must have been for some other crime. I mean, which crime? But yeah, still very interesting. So I guess the next quest, which will come next patch, will be around making child innocent, like proving he is innocent or something. Oh, yep, of course. Oh, of course I slid up. Okay. Okay. Still, why would the machine say that child is killed? Also, I wonder if we'll get to put Farina on trial. That somehow sounds like really interesting. If we manage to... if that's where the quest is going. Okay. We grab the Hydroculus. And do we have any more quests to do? Nope. So the main quest does end there. Got these quests. We unlocked Linnaeus. Okay. For these, we did do Kave last time. So there's Kaya. Still, I don't feel like there's any time. Besides, I need to leave a little bit earlier. Oh, wait. Actually, we can do a single wish before we leave. No, wait. This is... Right. I'm at 106. Hold on. Oh, wait, that's not what I meant to buy. Oh well, that's fine. I used the wrong currency. That's okay. Probably. Okay, we have 110 wishes, and now we'll keep sitting up until Farina comes out. And then when she does, we'll do a wishing stream. I did have more before. I had like 140 wishes, but I used them to get the second constellation for Zhongli.
But where are those who
share the memory? Okay, yeah, I used them to get Zhongli's second constellation. It's not even that useful of a constellation, at least outside of multiplayer, but still. It's like the last constellation I actually care about before the 6th. That turns him into a healer. But yeah, that's way too much. I am not wailing on this game. Actually, I have a lot of like 5-star characters with constellations and everything, but that's mostly for don't worry about Diluc. Diluc is a special case. That's mostly from I think I also have Xing's and Mona. Yep. Yeah, I have a bunch of constellations on 5 stars, but that's mostly because I've played for so long. But yeah, I've only bought like Welkin Moon like
so it is where
half dozen times, I think. Like the last couple times I didn't even use the Genesis crystals, right? Yeah. The last 2 times I didn't even use the Genesis crystals, so that when a skin gets released that I actually care about, I can buy it. Because it's been leaked that Zhongli will get a skin eventually. Like in the near future. Okay, maybe not near future, but in the future he will probably get a skin. So that's what I'm saving for. So yep, if he does get a skin, I'm definitely going to buy it right away. But yeah, I think that will be everything for today. Yep. Okay, hold on. like this. But yeah, I think that'll be everything for today, because I have to leave soon-ish, in a little while. I have to go visit my grandma.
Where do you want to go next?
So,
if you'd like to see Liyue's tourist spots,
so yeah, that was the ending of the currently available Fontaine main questline. If everyone had fun. Yeah, thanks for the stream and thank you for everyone who joined. Should we raid someone? Let's see who's online. Let's see if anyone is online. Okay, raid channel. Let's see. That was such a long court session. I know, right? It felt like I was basically a fucking like real life court session.
Boats are made for transferring commodities back and forth.
There's no one
and those that come across
follow
Liyue
online.
tend to stay a while. So it is where many things come to settle.
I'll just end the stream. Y'all can go and see whoever you want. Don't feel like I don't really have time to watch anyone's stream, so I won't look for random person to join.
Wine tastes the same as I remember.
That was it for today. A little bit shorter stream than usual.
Who
but
share the
still,
memory.
Thank you everyone for joining me, and I'll see you all definitely not tomorrow, but maybe the day after that. Yeah, definitely not tomorrow though. Tomorrow I'm going to sleep for fucking 24 hours. Yeah, tomorrow I'm just gonna go full Roman Emperor and sleep for the whole day. But yes, I will see you all Tuesday, probably. Maybe. Yeah, I'll see you all Tuesday. Also have an idea for something, but I doubt it will happen, so I'm not gonna say it out loud. But just like, if it happens, just know I'm a giga genius and I started planning it today. But yes, thank you all for joining me. I'll see you all
Where do you want to
Tuesday.
go next?
Goodbye.
If you'd like to see Liyue's tourist